Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make this awesome survival base on the water. This thing has everything that you might possibly want to survive out in the middle of the ocean. Let me show you everything this base has to offer before I actually show you guys how to make it. The first thing we have here is a docking area, whether you want to climb directly out of the ocean or whether you want to pull up in your boat, squid or crocodile, then you have options for either. You can park it right here at the docks. We also have this large farming area out in front of the house, whether you want to grow wheat, potatoes, strawberries, pineapples, whatever you want to do, you can have a nice big area to do it out in front of the house. Did I mention there's a house? There's a very large survival house which even features a stables. No one's exactly sure how the horse got here. We all assumed that he was born here, but inside of the house, it is a multi-level survival functional house. There's plenty of room to place whatever you want inside of this area. We have a sleeping area, we have furnaces, crafting tables, chests, everything that you might possibly need out of a house. We have a way to get up onto the second floor separate from the interior of the house. We can climb all the way up to the second floor next to the stable, in which we will find a nice big enchanting area and a little leisure area as well. And on top of that, we can even climb up onto the roof, and on top of the roof there's actually nothing, but you could plant whatever you wanted up here. You could even just make it a nice little watchtower slash safe area. It's completely up to you. And last but not least, we have this little sugarcane farm. Isn't that adorable? Except, is it just a sugarcane farm, guys? Or is it actually a hidden room hidden underneath your water island base that has all of your cool stuff in it? Oh, it also allows you access to the ocean as well, if that's your sort of thing. And that's pretty much everything, guys. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you do, please do remember to hit that like button. It really helps me out. I'm going to say that one more time. Please like the video if you enjoyed these kinds of builds. They're so much fun to make. I hope that you guys do enjoy them, because otherwise I wouldn't make them. And on top of that, if you want to subscribe, please do. It helps me out and it keeps you up to date with the channel. Of course you guys want that. Of course you do. Click the little bell next to the subscription button if you wouldn't mind. That also make sure that you get everything sent to your sub box. But without any further ado, this has been a really long intro. Sorry about that. Let me show you how to make this thing. So if you want to make it, here's what you'll need. Grab yourself some spruce wood, some birchwood fence, some birchwood stairs, some birchwood planks, some birchwood slabs, some red wool, some white wool, glowstone, 1 trapdoors. We'll also need some glass pane, birchwood fence gate, and some podzol. We will also be needing a lot more materials later on. It just so happens that this is what we need to build the walls and the house. So, grab everything that you see there. Once you have it, you're going to want to figure out where you want to make it. So once you have all your stuff, I can tell you that the house, base, everything will fit into a 26 block wide by a 30 block long area. That's 26 blocks across the front by 30 blocks going towards the back. Now, I'd highly recommend building this in the ocean, so it is going to be important to measure out the area that you're going to be working with, so do make sure that you do have a big enough area. If you want, you can make this exact same square space, well, squarish space, on an island in your world, and if you do that, you want to begin on the very front bottom left hand corner of your island here, and we're going to want to count in from the front bottom left hand corner. We're going to want to count into the right by 1. We're then going to want to count inwards from this first block, and we're going to want to count in by 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to begin in this position by placing a row of 4 spruce wood coming up from the ground. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4, like that. We're then going to do 2 upper right diagonals, so that's going to be 1 and 2. We then want to move right by 2, 1, 2. Do 2 bottom right diagonals, 1, 2. Connect down to the ground. Take the block that hit the ground and extend it right by 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We then want to take that 18th block and we want to extend it backwards by 24. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And then we want to take that 24th block, we want to extend it coming across the back of the base. And the goal here is to be able to connect it to the front of the base. So we want to extend it as far across the back as we have to until we are able to connect it to the actual front of the base to give us this sort of shape right here. Perfect. Now, once you've got that sorted out, ladies and gentlemen, the next thing that we have to do, which is really unfortunate, I so wish we didn't have to do this, is we have to grab dirt. It's either dirt or sand or whatever. It's not really that important, but what we do have to do is we have to fill in the area that we've just made with dirt, with grass, with sand, with whatever you want to use. But the most important thing, I should actually be using grass blocks, to be honest with you. I'm sure that this will develop into grass eventually though. What we do want to have is we just want to have a foundation inside of here that we are able to build upon. So fill it in, like I said, with grass, with dirt, with sand, whatever. As long as it's a solid block, it really doesn't matter what you use. However, I would recommend a normal ground material. I'm going to speed this bit right up because there's no need for you guys to watch this entire thing, but fill the ground in with whatever material you want as long as it's a normal ground found material. And we are done. Perfect. So, you can see that we now have a more solid foundation to build up our base. We've filled all of that in with dirt. So the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to take care of the house because it's the biggest part of the base. We want to begin on the very front, on the very back right hand corner of the base. So once all of that is filled in with your material of choice, pause the video if you have to, make sure that's all done. Once you have done that though, you can proceed on with the rest of us. So hit pause if you need to catch up, hit play if you're ready. We want to begin on the very back right hand corner of the base. So on top of this block, we want to place a row of 4 spruce wood coming up from the corner. That's 1, 2, 3 and 4. We want to take that 4th block and extend it towards the front of the base by 12. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We want to connect that down to the ground. We then also want to take that 12th block and we're also going to want to take it and we want to extend it forward or across the build. Rather, we want to extend it across the side of the build by 6. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Connect that down, take that 6th block, extend it backwards and connect it both down to the ground at the back of the build and also across to where we started to form this rectangular shape. We then want to begin once again on the row of 4 spruce wood that we start this off from. So we want to begin from this 4th block, this block that's facing upwards. We want to extend this upwards by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to take that 4th block, we want to extend it forwards by 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Take that down to the ground. Also extend it across the build by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Extend it down to the ground. Extend it backwards. Connect across to the back of the build and downwards as well. So you can see that we now have this sort of, we have this rectangular shape on top of rectangle that is slightly smaller than itself. The thing now, however, is we want to come into the back of the build. Can you see this spruce wood that is connected down to the ground and also upwards and left and everything? We want to take this block that is extending towards us and we want to extend it to the right by 6. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Connect it down to the ground. But you also want to extend it forwards towards the front of the base by 6 also. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You want to connect it down to the ground. You want to also extend it coming inwards towards the center of the build again by 3. 1, 2, 3. Connect that down to the ground. You then want to place, so you actually want to place a row of birchwood fence directly in front of that row that you just connected down to the ground. You can even extend up the spruce wood by one, and you can even add a few spruce wood corner blocks around this particular part of the build like this. Well, anyway, we also want a birchwood fence in front of the top spruce wood also. And now, the goal is that we want to place, in front of this row, we want to place a row of spruce wood that is 2 blocks shorter than the previous row. So, it's 2 blocks shorter than the previous row. We then want to place a row of birchwood fence in front of this row of spruce wood that we've just placed. We then want to place a row of 2 spruce wood in front of the fence, with birchwood fence in front of the spruce wood. We then want to place another spruce wood like this, and then we're going to place some birchwood fence coming all the way up to the top. So we kind of want to have this sort of pattern like this. We also want to create a stable area. So to do this, we're going to take the last spruce wood that we placed, we're going to leave a gap of 2 in the ground, and we're going to chuck a spruce wood here, just to the left, leaving a gap of 2, and we'll actually place another spruce wood on top. And we're just going to make some boundaries. So we'll extend 2 rows of birchwood fence coming towards the back of the house like this. So we're just going to extend some birchwood fence backwards towards the back of the house like this. We're also going to, we're just going to dig out a little bit. So we're going to like place some spruce wood underneath the fence just to make it look a little bit nicer like this. It does just look a little bit nicer like that. You might even want to do it with some of the foundational spruce wood. You might want to like dig underneath them, and you might want to connect them together using like spruce wood and stuff. It's just a little bit of a nicer foundation. I'm a little curious as to why the dirt isn't actually grown into grass. I wish I would have just placed grass. I might have to actually change that up in a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to place some spruce wood in the ground, connecting some vital points of this house together like this, just because it'll look a little bit nicer. And what I'm also going to do now is I'm going to fill in some walls. I'm going to add some entrances and stuff. By the way, for the stable, I'm just going to place some birchwood fence gates. Like this is where the front of the stable will be. So there's 2 main entrances to the house. So there's this one here at the front of the house. We're going to decorate this by placing on the left, we're going to place a row of glass pane on the left inside the space, and on the right inside the space, we're going to place birchwood planks coming inwards from each row like this. We're then going to place in front of the 2 birchwood planks, we're going to place spruce wood with birchwood fence on top, with birchwood slabs on top of the fence, and we're going to connect them together. We're also going to place a glass pane behind that, and that is going to act as entrance number 1. What we also have to do is we have to install a floor or 2 to the house. So we're actually going to fill the inside of the house in, the second story that is, we're going to fill this in using birch wood planks, because I don't know, I really like the effect of birch. I'm really getting irritated by all of the dirt now. I really thought that it formed grass. I guess I'm stupid for thinking that. We'll have to solve that problem later, won't we? So we have a nice birchwood floor. We also want to fill the very top of this build in also using birchwood planks like this. We're just going to fill this in with the birchwood planks like that. And here, so now that we have a few floors in, everything is a little bit easier. The balcony area here is just above the entrance, and to fill that in, we're just going to place a row of birchwood planks on the left, the right on the inside. We're just going to place 2 spruce wood inwards from each row of birchwood plank. We're going to place a row of glass pane connecting the spruce wood together at the top. We're also going to place a layer of glass pane coming all the way around the balcony, just because it looks a little bit nicer. Speaking of what looks nice, on top of the roof, we're actually going to place a couple of boundaries. We're going to place some spruce wood here on the left-hand side and here on the right. And the goal of this is simply to separate the roof up a little bit. And what this basically allows us to do, it allows us to place some birchwood fence going around the top of the roof on the front and the back. And it allows us to split it a bit by placing some glass pane in between, if that makes sense. So what we want to have is a bit more of an interesting roof like this. You can simply use one material if you like, however. Anyway, We also have to fill in just behind the stables here is an empty wall, which will just have some birchwood planks at the bottom with some glass in between with some birchwood planks on top. There is another entrance to the house on the ground level, which is on the very left hand side. This is going to mirror the front of the house, so that will be glass on the left and right coming from bottom to top with birchwood planks in between. We'll then place spruce wood in front of the birchwood planks at the bottom with birchwood fence on top, with birchwood slabs on top of the fence connecting together with glass pane at the back. We can even fill this little balcony area in here by using glass. We can use a layer of glass to connect these spruce woods together to form a solid balcony, like that. There is a wall that we want to fill in. So there is a wall on the inside of the house, on the inside of the stable here, which is better filled in using birch wood planks. So just completely fill this area in with birch wood planks like this. But what we also want to do is we want to add a row of birchwood planks here in this position around the balcony behind the stable leading into the second story of the house. What I haven't showed you how to do yet is the staircase that takes you to the second floor. It's basically a row of ascending birchwood slabs that go up half a row at a time until we eventually reach the second story of the house. Like this, you can see how it runs up the side of the stable. It touches the fence. I don't care, I think it still looks really cool. It travels upwards in that direction. The entrance to the second story of the house is on the left hand side onto the balcony at the top of the stairs. We want to place a row of birchwood planks at the back with a row of spruce wood coming up from the ground with a glass on top. Extend the glass to the right by 2 and downwards by 2 with your spruce wood. The rest of this wall can very simply be filled in with birch wood planks like this. That looks quite nice. If we move to the back of the house, the more windows you have on this house, the less you'll find that you have room to do stuff inside the house. But if you like, on the back and the sides especially, you can place like a row of birchwood planks at the very base of the build with a spruce wood coming inwards from each side of the birchwood. So like on top of the birchwood coming in from either side, place a spruce wood coming inwards, place a row of birchwood planks directly on top of it, and then you can actually just fill the center of this in using glass pane. So you can see it kind of creates a cool effect that you may also find that you want to place like trap doors on the side of, just to kind of like split up the glass a little bit. It's up to you, it's not that important. The rest on the second story on the back, we're just going to birchwood plank it. So the second story on the back, we're going to birchwood plank it. We're also going to do the same on the right hand side also, just birchwood planks completely, because we want an enchantment library to be here. We want to be able to access the roof. We don't want to be messing about. On the side of the build, so on the right hand side of the build, again, if you want to add some windows, you can. So place like a row of birchwood planks at the bottom and the top, and then we can evenly divide some windows up. So we can place like a spruce wood on the left and the right. We can place 3 rows of glass coming inwards, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3 like this. And then we can place like a row of spruce wood connecting together. But then you can place, if you like, once again, to kind of split things up a little bit, you might want to place some trap doors on the sides of the windows. Again, the house isn't meant to look as good as it is functional. If you want to add more detail, there's plenty of room to do it. It's a very basic house that you guys will be able to manage to turn into something fantastic. But it does work very well. It's a very big house on the inside. Now, speaking of making it look better, on the balcony on the left hand side, you'll find a pair of spruce wood here and here. Chuck a birchwood fence on top of each. Place white wool on top of each of them as well. You then want to do a row of, or better yet, coming upwards and right over the house, we want to do and we want to do 5 upright diagonals with the white. It'll look like this. Let me show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that, right? Place red wool on top of every single white wool. We even want to place a red wool coming left of the original white, like this. We want to take the top red wool and we want to extend it across the right hand side of the build as well, just by 1. If you like, you can take the opportunity and you can make a big canopy over the house. I don't like that. I've already tried it. I prefer just like this nice diagonal sort of look. However, once you have this shape, we're actually going to extend every single one of these blocks, and I do mean every single one, across to the back of the build until it overhangs the back of the house by 1 row. It's as easy as that. I'll tell you what, I'll start off with the white and then I'll move on to the red. It's basically, what it basically is, it adds some color to the house, it makes the house look better, it makes it look homier, it serves no other purpose than that. It just makes it look better. So, in terms of function, no function, but it does look good, in my opinion. You guys might feel a little bit differently to that, but I think that the house overall looks very, very cool. And that is the house, ladies and gentlemen, pretty much made. The biggest part of the build by far. If you want, you can customize the area by placing some podzol inside of where the horse's stable is. So if you want, you can customize the area by placing some podzol inside of the horse's stable, and if you want, you can even kind of like extend it outwards a little bit to show that the horse does actually come and leave. I'm very irritated that the dirt hasn't transformed into grass. I guess I'm just a moron. This is unsurprising. I've learned this many times throughout my life. I figured it had turned into grass. Stupid me. By the way, just 2 little hints from the inside of the house. Behind the stairs that lead to the stable, I'd use that room for either something cool or for beds or something. As another side note, in the second story of the house, I would place ladders roughly somewhere around here. Like, I'd keep it to the back of the second story, like maybe right in the middle of the back of the second story. The ladders will take you up to the second story of the house, or the third story of the house maybe, and that's just a nice little tidbit for where you might want to chuck some ladders. Everything else, leave it up to you. Fill it in how you want, use the house how you want. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the house. Next thing we're going to take care of are going to be the walls, and they're going to be the docks. So what we're going to do now is the walls. I already told you. So I was just about to ask you the same question 3 times in a row. So leading from the house all the way around on top of the walls, we want to have this pattern, right? So everywhere that there is a spruce wood block, we want to place a fence next to it. And everywhere there's a fence, we want to place a spruce wood. What this basically means is we want to have this cool alternating pattern of birchwood fence followed by spruce wood that conjoin on top of the outer walls of our base, and you guys can see the end result of this. So we want to follow the same basic pattern leading from the house. You want to take either the front of the house or the back of the house, and you want to create this pattern that you can see me doing right now. 1 fence to every 1 spruce in this, in that pattern. You guys can see what we've done. We've created slightly bigger walls. Cool. Next thing though, is we want to grab the glowstone and the wooden trapdoors, and on top of the front right hand corner of the base, we're going to chuck a fence with a glowstone on top of it, with wooden trapdoors going all the way around it. This is not unique to the front right hand corner of the base. We're also going to chuck one on the back left hand corner of the base. There's nowhere else that you can put them on the corners of the base, so I figured I might as well take advantage of having a little bit of light, because the base is going to be very dark at night. Might as well take a little bit of advantage and place a little bit of lightage on the corners. It'll help you find it in the dark anyway. Looks quite cool like that. Anyway, next thing we're going to do is we are going to place on top of every exposed spruce a birchwood slab. All this basically does is it looks cool. It also will stop people jumping. I mean, I guess it makes it harder for mobs and people to jump in the base. I guess it looks cool. I like the look of it. Basically, is the whole point of this. I like the look of it. Speaking of the docks, we're going to place 2 rows of birchwood fence underneath the archway for the docks. So the entrance to the base, we're going to place 2 rows of birchwood fence. It makes it look like a kind of like a gate, like a drawbridge or whatever. I like it. It makes it look a little bit more defensible. We're going to decorate it with colour though. We're going to place on top of the archway, starting from the left of the archway, we're going to place a red wall. And we're going to alternate between white and red, coming all the way up and down the archway gate, like this. And then moving 1 row inwards inside of the archway, we're actually going to place ourselves we're actually going to place another row of wool to kind of make it look 3D, to expand it just a little bit. I also happen to think that it looks really cool. I really like it. It makes it colourful, it makes it stand out, it makes it more obvious that that is indeed the entrance. Speaking of the entrance, we have a dock to make. So, behind the right-hand side of the bottom of the archway, which is this block right here, we're going to place this pattern of blocks. Specifically, 1 fence, 1 spruce, 1 fence, 1 spruce, 1 fence, 1 spruce, 1 fence, 1 spruce. So we want to have in total 4 spruces. We're then going to dig into the ground and connect the last spruce that we placed to the left. We're going to place then, starting from the left inside the hole that we've dug, we're going to place a stair, then a spruce, then we're going to place 3 stairs, like that. We're going to dig in front of this spruce, we're going to dig in front of it, and we are going to dig in the ground as far as we have to go until we have made it off of our island. So, you can see that we've dug a really long row out here, yeah? We're going to place in this trench a row of spruce wood. So I actually want it to face sideways. I thought that I might want it to face upwards. I don't. I think that looks horrible. So I'm going to place a row of sideways spruce wood like this, coming all the way off the side of our island, right? I'm also going to dig in front of the front bottom left hand corner of the base. I'm going to dig as far as I have to out in front of the island. Yours might be bigger than this. You might have a really big amount of land between the archway and the edge of your island. It doesn't matter. Still dig it out anyway. On top of the spruce, we're going to place fence. So this includes here and here. So we're going to completely fill this in with fence. This looks stupid now. We're going to be getting rid of the grass and, well, it's not grass, is it? It's dirt. We're going to be getting rid of the dirt. I so wish it was grass. We're going to get rid of the dirt and we're going to place a fence on top of this. But we also want to dig coming outwards from the front bottom right hand corner of the archway. We're going to dig into the ground and we are also going to place spruce in a similar fashion. So we're going to place spruce coming out in front of this. You might even find that you don't want this part to... Nah, we do. Okay, it's going to come out as far as the other row. And we're going to place some birchwood fence on top, like this. That looks great. Now, on the left hand side, this area is actually simply supposed to be like if you were to swim to the island. This like gets you out of the water faster than the other side. So this, we're going to dig it out and we're going to replace it with birchwood planks like this. And we're also going to add a ladder as well. So like connect the spruce wood down and maybe even like extend it down into the ocean a little bit, and maybe even the birchwood as well. And if you want to make it a little bit nicer, what am I doing? We're going to chuck a ladder here just to make it a little bit easier to get out. So it's just that, there's no other reason. We're going to dig out the right hand side. This is for boats, crocodiles, orcas, narwhals, squids, urchins, dolphins, other aquatic animals, frogs, that sort of stuff. You guys get the idea. This is for your basically boats, because you know what, rideable seahorses would actually be kind of cool in Minecraft. Somebody get Notch on the phone. Anyway, this right hand side is simply for boats and stuff. So we're going to dig this out and we want to actually be able to approach it via the water. So I'm just going to dig all of this out, and we're also going to make it a little bit easier to get out from the water as well. So you can see that the water level is well, you can see where the water level is, right? We might actually equalize it. So the water level is actually different from the ocean to the base. So I'm just going to even it out by placing some water in here. Although practically, it doesn't matter that much, but aesthetically, it's irritating me. So we're just going to place, there we go, I'll just fill those gaps. We want to make it easier to get out of this, so if you want to place some, like, maybe if you want to place some, like, some rows of birchwood fence, or birchwood, and maybe some birchwood stairs, and maybe some, like, birchwood slabs, just to make it easier to get in and out of the water. You can even extend it if you want, like, as far as the actual, like, front of the base, if that makes sense. So, you don't want it to come out as far as, like, the lifeline, but you want it to come out as far as maybe like where the actual archway is. Looks kind of nice. I like that. It's up to you though. So that is the dock, that is the house, those are the walls. Let's make some of the easier components to this base, because we've done all the hard stuff now, guys. So let me grab some stuff we'll need for the next bit. Okay, so the next part of this is the little farm out in front of the house. We need spruce wood, birchwood fence, seeds, and some diamond hose. You don't need diamond hose, any hoe will do. So we're going to start from the very front bottom right hand corner of the actual base itself, this corner block with the glowstone. We're going to come inwards diagonally, leaving a gap of 1, so leaving that diagonal alone. We're going to begin here, and we're going to dig to the left, and we're going to dig a row of 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? We're then going to dig upwards by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to dig all the way to the right. This is a very boring farm. And we're going to dig down. So we have a nice big square shape like this. We're going to fill this in using spruce wood. So whether you want the spruce wood to be looking up at you like a loyal dog, or whether you want to have it laying on its side like a lazy dog, it's completely up to you. I don't know what dogs have to do with this. What we then want to do is we want to place a spruce wood on top of each one of the 4 corners of the farm like this. And we want to have some birchwood fence on maybe like the bottom part and maybe on the right hand side, because these are going to be the lesser used sides. We also want to have entrances to the farm, so maybe like this block here, this can be part of the entrance, and maybe like this block here, this can be part of the entrance. I'm going to place a birchwood fence here, left and right of the entrance, with a spruce wood next to it. So I'm also going to place a birchwood fence here and here. I forgot a stupid material. So we have all of this. And I'm also going to create a path in which we can connect together. So I'm going to connect that together. I'm going to hoe all of the dirt. So the dirt has actually got some sort of purpose. And we're going to place seeds. That noise was because I've noticed that the dirt has just re-dirted itself. I honestly thought it turned to grass. What can you do about it? Wonderful. Actually, maybe it's because time is froze. Maybe that's because there's no weather cycle and stuff. That might be why. I don't know. Anyway, the path that I've chose to go in between these, we kind of needed a spade or whatever, but a grass path between these actually looks kind of nice. If you want to further customize the area, if you like, it's a little bit easy. You know what might actually look good? Instead of being boring, maybe a little bit of cobblestone wall around where the entrances are. Nah, that's stupid. So maybe cobblestone wall on top of the corners of the farm, with maybe like torches on top. Maybe not even every corner. I think that kind of looks nice. I kind of like that. It's a little bit more interesting to look at than yet another glowstone sort of deal. I don't know. You could even, if you wanted to, like decorate the area further by placing, like, I don't know, like a flower pot with like a poppy in it on the remaining like spruce wood. Up to you. You could even, if you wanted to be practical, you could even like include like a chest. So maybe like here with like farming equipment in it. If you were so inclined. It doesn't really matter what you do, it's up to you. But that is the little farm there. There's another farm that we have to do, but it's not just a farm. We have the hidden farm / room / base underneath the back left hand corner part of this build. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of everything, and I'm going to grab some new stuff, and I'll be back in a second once we've grabbed everything that we need, because I'm going to have to figure it out. So for this next part, we'll need some jungle wood, jungle leaves, stone slabs, sand, sugar canes, water bucket, spruce wood, glass, and some white concrete. So we're going to begin in the very back left-hand corner of the base, leaving a gap of 1 diagonally, coming inwards diagonally. We're going to place a jungle wood. And on top of that jungle wood, we're going to place like 3 more jungle wood. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to extend that to the right by 1, up 1, right 1, up 1. We're then going to place on top of this a jungle leaf, and then maybe extend it towards us by 2, 1, 2, left 2, 1, 2, back 2, 1, 2, then to the right 2, 1, 2. We're then going to simply extend the second block downwards, each by 1, every single one of them, like that. We're then going to extend them outwards by 1, every single one of them going all the way around the tree, like this. And then we're going to finally extend all of those blocks downwards by 1. And there you will have a very basic, very easy to make palm tree. Incredibly simple. If you want, you can even extend up like the center block by 1, and if you want to go one step further, you can even like add coconuts and stuff. Up to you. Maybe not even coconuts. What else would you be able to put cocoa beans on the tree? That might be an idea. It's up to you. It's up to you whether you want to do that. It's purely decoration, so decorate it how you want. Anyway, coming inwards diagonally from the tree, we want to place a stone slab. From that stone slab, we want to do a bottom left diagonal. Move down by 2, 1, 2, do a bottom right diagonal, followed by a bottom right diagonal with the spruce wood. Place 1 on top of the spruce wood, place a stone slab on top of the spruce, go right by 2, 1, 2, connect it down to the ground using spruce wood. Then we're going to place 2 bottom right diagonals, or 2 up right diagonals, I guess, from the spruce wood. So coming backwards, 1, 2. Then we're going to go up 2, 1, 2. Then 2 up left diagonals, 1 and 2. Then left 2. So we now have a nice circular shape like this. The very center of that circle is going to be where we access the hidden room. So dig down from that circle. Then the rest of it is kind of like, we kind of want like a plus shape, leaving alone. So this is like where we're going to be putting water, basically. So we're going to be putting water like this, like in a plus shape. The rest of the inside of this area actually wants to be sand. So you guys know where the area of sand is going to be now. We have sand going all the way around the inside of this, around our plus shape. It's going to look great. We also want to kind of like dig around this as well. So we're going to dig around. We're going to make this look a little bit more sandy. It's going to look a little bit nice. We just want to add a little bit of sand, basically, in a nice pattern going all the way around this. It wants to spill out, and it wants to it just wants to kind of like come out of the circle a little bit. So you might even want to like create a couple of path blocks as well. We're going to chuck sugarcane all the way around this, and the reason being is, why can we not place it? Can you not place it? I know nothing about this game. I'm quickly learning. I guess it has to be right next to the water. So we're going to place as much sugarcane as we can. I mean, if you want, you can even place it in front of the plus, although that doesn't make too much sense. So this, not only does it function as a sugarcane farm, not only does it look cool, that's part of the reason why we have it, the reason that we have this is the entrance to the hidden base. So the idea is that you'll want to be able to float down underneath your island, and I might even pop a night vision here. You want to be able to float down underneath your island, and you want to be able to have a hidden room, hidden from everybody. I mean, you know, even your friends, you can't trust them. We know that. You've got a friend that has trolled you before, that you can't let them near your real stuff. You can let them near your fake stuff. They probably won't do anything to the house, but they will absolutely mess with your real stuff if you let them near it, which is why you don't let them near it. You have the house that they're allowed in, but the hidden base they're very unlikely to find. Or they might, but they'd have to go searching underneath your island, and that'd be a bit... I mean, maybe they'll find it, I don't know. But it's a little bit safer than not having a secret paranoid hidden underneath islandy base. So, as you can see, I'm creating a glass chamber. I want you guys to do a similar thing. Create a glass chamber, as big or as small as you like, hidden underneath the island base. It's something that people don't think about enough. Evil friends. So, yeah, you know, I spend a lot of time thinking about how to conceal stuff in Minecraft from people, just because I'm distrusting. You know, it's a natural thing. and you guys should be as well. And the idea here is the way that we access it, obviously, you guys, I've said this before, it's the sugarcane. It's always been the sugarcane. It will always be the sugarcane. You flow down into the base, and we drain the water by digging out the very center of the base. So we actually dig it out. We might have to like just sponge this up and then chuck in some fresh water. Wow, I didn't mean to do that, did I? Oh, that actually, you know what? That's actually kind of cool because now you can't see it. You can't see the water flowing. But anyway, this is how you get up and in to the base. And inside here, obviously, I'm not gonna outfit this with stuff. You guys can put what you want in here. But obviously, if you want to hide ender chests and important chests and important stuff, this would be the place to do it, guys. If you want to have your good armor, if you want to have all of your resources that you want to keep away from people, this is the place to do it. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the hidden base. And that actually kind of concludes what you might want to do with the base. I don't think that there's that much more, really. I mean, if you want, these are things that you can do to make the base look a little bit nicer. If you want to just improve the look of the base a little bit. You don't want to go crazy with this stuff, by the way. Don't go crazy. There's no need for that. But what you can do is you can place some flowers around the base, especially if you have a dirt floor like I do and it looks stupid. You can place some some flowers around. I'm very salty, by the way, about the dirt. I honestly thought it'd grow into grass. I know nothing. I know absolutely zilch. We can even place some flower pots around the area. So some flower pots with maybe some ferns and stuff, maybe some flowers. You can even place them, I don't know, like in random places like here, like just to make it look nice. It does look better. You can even maybe chuck some lily pads in into your little pond area. I'd also suggest, by the way, this would actually be easier with a shovel, thinking about it. If you want to have some grass paths, can you not do this? I guess you can only do it to grass, which is a real kicker. You know what? That's a real kicker. Oh, game. We can place some like grass path like around common entrances and stuff. So maybe like to the front of the house. And maybe you can even kind of lead people to your house and to important things that they might want to see by placing some like grass path blocks that vaguely allure people to certain parts of the house. So that might be something that you want to do. And I don't know, just make it look nice. I've obviously made a real mess of this by placing too much dirt. I've done a real bad thing here. But if we were to float over to the other island, you can see what it would look like with regular stuff. So you can see instead of like grass path, I've used sand, and I do even have some grass path. But you can see what this place would look like if some idiot hadn't completely filled it with dirt. That idiot being me. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much the tutorial. I actually hope that you guys managed to make this no problem. I hope that you guys like the base. I hope that it's been easy enough to follow along. This is a bit more of a freestyle-y tutorial. It's a bit harder to kind of like follow instructions when some things are just so random and some things are kind of like, it's kind of your personal opinion what you want to do with certain things in this particular build. But like the video, guys, if you have enjoyed it, please, if you wouldn't mind, hit that like button. Really appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind also subscribing to the channel, it helps me out a lot, keeps you up to date with the builds. I've got some more bases coming up. You guys have been loving the bases. I've done a couple of survival, I've done a nether base, I've now done a water base. I have a few more bases in mind, guys. I've got some good stuff coming up, trust me. Please also suggest other bases you would like to see in the future, because I do enjoy making these quite a lot. It's a lot of fun. On top of that, subscribe, comment, like, and if you want to check out any of my other stuff, check out the card system in the description below. You guys will be able to see very easily what I've been up to in both the playlist and the description below. I'm sure you'll have recommended videos. There's loads of stuff to check out, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. It was really fun to make, really fun to build. I hope to see you guys in the next one.